It's your girl, just Risa, with stories present and past, and a little sparkle and sass. Pour that iced tea, we're sipping it tonight. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell and stay tuned. And always remember, be unapologetically you.
Hello, everybody in YouTube land. It is your girl, Just Risa. How is everybody today? Hold on just a second. Forgot to change this one. This is very impromptu for me, which is not common for me to be very impromptu. Hope you can hear me. We're going to go to media anyway. I might as well come over here. So something's going on, and this is breaking news, and this is right down the street. Well, the highway from us. This is about 2 hours away from me. I'm going to pull up the video. This is a little different for me because this is going on right now, and it is breaking news, and it is where my in-laws live. And so I'm going to pull this up, and I'm just going to watch it with you guys down on the bottom because I'm like, oh my gosh, there is an active shooter reported in Midland, Texas. And like I said, this is where my in-laws live, my father-in-law, my brother-in-law, my family. And we were supposed to go there tomorrow for my nephew's birthday. And yeah. So I'm just going to put play and just watch this with you guys and commentary. And this is different for me. She just said a bad word. I backtracked a little bit on this. They're about to do like a news report or something here. Not quite sure. But this is crazy. So we just gonna, if you're here with me in the chat, hello, good day, we can talk. I don't normally just do this because of just random. I was working on other content that I'm eventually going to do. My content is kind of like art, and I don't do it until I'm ready. I want quality over quantity because less is more for me, and I like to do mine creatively. So this is kind of different for me because it's just happening right now.
Toward our camera and then turning in right there where that truck was. So we don't know where they are headed. They are going up. That looks like...
this is like downtown Midland.
Looks like Falcon Street maybe over there. That's what I'm trying to read the sign there.
Yes.
So that you can see the ambulance just...
Good thing for me is my in-laws live on the other side of town.
I think
from this, but this is like downtown.
Okay, you see the Days Inn, you see the buy right auto sale, so that's about where it is if you get an idea.
And this is where we have all of our oil. Fluid situation. This is where all your oil comes from, is Midland. Yeah, that's downtown. That is way downtown. That's all of the big buildings downtown. And there's a dang school bus right there. I don't know why they're showing this view, but I was watching a different one at the same time when I flipped over to this one because they look like they were... No, this is NYPD. Why are we showing this? That's not even Midland. It says NYPD. Well, that's weird. I'm going to go back to the ones on Midland because I don't know why it flipped there. This is out of Dallas. The news I was looking at is out of Dallas. Let me find the other one I was looking at. Because, man, I was watching basketball news. I was watching stuff on Caitlin Clark, and then this popped up, and then I was watching stuff on Carmelo Anthony, and then this popped up. And look over here, there's my friend. That's Matthew Russell Lee. That's what my, like, kind of journalism mentors. Let me go to my history and go to the one I was just watching here. Let's see. Let's go to this one. Kind of an ad. That's okay.
So whether you start yours with fluffy waffles,
Now that looks yummy.
eggs,
Here we go.
A bit more about the situation as it continues to unfold. And it's a very fluid situation, as I've said.
We'll watch this guy.
The last 45 minutes, but again, we want to make sure you have all the information that we have as soon as we get it.
Let's see what happens.
Let's go back out to Lauren Munt. We can still chat with her in the meantime to figure out what she's still seeing as this continues to evolve and develop throughout the morning. Of course, you're still seeing that train there. You can see the Victorian Inn.
Good morning, guys.
Lauren,
Good morning.
I know you've been
Wanna
out
watch
there
this
for
guy
going
talk.
on 45 minutes or so.
Oh.
Earlier, and also how you found yourself at Market Street and Industrial specifically.
Yeah, Matthew, as soon as we heard that there was something going on, we came from Odessa. I came down 191 with 250 and came southbound down that area. And when we got there, the business 20 was being blocked off. There was lots of traffic. So we continued our way down I-20 and kind of made a little bit of a roundabout there. I believe that road that we ended up taking has been shut down there. They have not been letting people down where we have kind of found ourselves. They are still allowing people to kind of pass on Market Street and down this way on Industrial, but they are being blocked off as soon as they get to that spot right there on Market Street. They are not allowing anyone to continue farther. Just beyond where that train is, where we saw an armored vehicle was heading down that way. Several other law enforcement agencies over that way. We've seen nonstop for the last 45 minutes officers. We saw some passing us on our way here. We've seen them kind of coming up and down this area this whole day now. All of them heading to that spot right there. We cannot get a good look up there. They will not let us pass any farther. In fact, we were a little bit further ahead a little bit while ago, and they had us move back. They said that the suspect was on the second floor and could see everything in that area.
Suspect on the second floor.
Back down this way. Again, that train passing through kind of really blocking our view of the Victoria in there and everything that we had been seeing. But what we had seen earlier is several law enforcement officers kind of in that area. We saw hotel guests in that area. We did not appear to be officers in uniform in that area. Everyone has since moved back. We saw kind of just behind me, where that train is. There's several officers in that area kind of sneaking down there. We're assuming there's got to be some down on that other end. They are completely securing this area of Midland as they work to continue to keep people safe, and of course the officers trying to remain safe during this very developing and active situation happening here in Midland. Train kind of just now getting thrown to about this interview with the Victorian Inn.
That train is loud. So she said something about Odessa, Texas. That was really loud. Odessa is about 15 miles to the west of Midland. They're almost like sister cities. Midland's a little more fancy and Odessa's a little more not. It's kind of the difference between the two. But yeah. And like I said, my in-laws live in Midland. And so I'm just sitting here watching the news, watching this as it unfolds. You guys are more than welcome to watch with me. I'm working on changing my thumbnail.
Oh, that's the hotel right there, Victorian Inn.
Kind of a pan down to where the officers are, moving down that way a little bit more. All of those officers kind of in that area. Matthew, I believe we just got an email. I'm going to have you take a look at before we go back on air there. Information from the Victorian Inn. I'm going to go ahead and send it back to you guys.
If you hear me sniffling, it's allergies. I'm allergic to pine trees, and I have a pine tree in my backyard.
According to, we're going to try and verify information, of course, before we have it with us this morning, as we're continuing to watch the situation unfold. We have some statements to go to. Let's go back to those. Reiterate, Lauren Munn, thank you for your coverage here.
Let's see if that other one ever
We're gathering information from all
showed that news
this
conference.
continues to happen across the area. And again, this is in Midland. This is a statement from Mayor Lloyd Blanc.
Oh, and Tyler Robinson is in court too. Y'all guys might as well just watch stuff with me all day. Let's just watch YouTube with Risa today. We ought to do that.
To avoid the area until
watch all the stuff I watch all day.
Priority is the safety of our residents and first responders. Additional information will be released as it becomes available. This is all still very fluid of a situation. We're still working to hear from public officials on what led up to the situation and the barricaded subject himself, this alleged shooter, this morning. And so we're going to continue following this as this continues to unfold this morning. We heard from Lauren Much a bit earlier regarding her place where she's located at Market Street and Industrial Avenue, across from this hotel, which has been apparently a part of this situation. But we're going to continue to learn more about this as it continues to unfold, because city officials in the next half hour have scheduled, a little over half an hour, a press conference for 10:30 this morning, and we're going to be in the email. We're going to be hearing from them.
Let's share. I'm going to share a different one. Hold on just a second. I'm going to share a different one. This is in Midland, Texas. And as I said, this is where my family lives.
In Midland, again, the situation, the standoff ongoing. We still, again, don't know the number or condition of any victims. But as Jolena said, Midland Memorial Hospital was on lockdown. That has since been lifted. But
Oh, it was by the hospital.
Yes. And if this does come from Victor
What is that?
Villarreal, if you don't know, just yesterday he was involved in a manhunt. So we know that on
crap.
Wednesday night at around.
My in-laws live like right back here. I'm not lying. My in-laws live like right over and through this area. I cannot exactly remember where, but this over here is the road to Odessa, and this over here is the loop that you go around to go to Midland. But this is the interstate. This is the interstate we went on to go to Dallas. It goes all the way to Dallas if you keep going to the east, and if you go to the west, it will end up in El Paso. So that is where this is. And like I said, this is where all your oil, guys, it's where all your oil comes from. It's in Midland, Texas, Odessa, Permian Basin, Pecos, Texas, huge oil thing out there. And this is where my family lives. And part of what my family does, my brother-in-law is a big oil guy.
A little before 12 midnight that he was pulled over. He shot at an officer.
Ooh.
The officer was okay. Then that's when he left the scene.
Sorry.
And then that's when officers started to look for him. And then this whole manhunt ensued. So again, we don't know if those cases are connected. We are still working to confirm. We asked the city of Midland if they are connected. They said they couldn't confirm that right now. So we'll have to hear more from Mayor when we pull her up in just a second. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's take a live look at the press conference if we can get that pulled up.
Oh, here we go.
She's going to get ready to speak, Mayor Lori Blanc,
See
to
what
give us
they
an
have to
update
say.
on the active shooter situation.
In Texas, we want to reach out to you and just make you aware of some things that have occurred this morning. Many of you are already aware that we have had an active shooter in our community. We want to start off by saying that our thoughts and prayers are absolutely with the victims and with their families, with our first responders, with all of the medical staff that are responding this morning. This has been a process with a lot of cooperation with a lot of different groups. And so we want you to hear us say that our thoughts and prayers are with you. We're in strong communication with all of those teams and just want to share some details with you. So I'm going to be referencing my notes so that I don't miss anything. The first thing is, yes, we did have an active shooter, and we already have a perimeter established. The situation is now secured in that area, but we're still asking that all Midlanders stay put. If you're in that area, you don't need to be out and driving around or going to try to see anything. Officers are containing the situation, and we ask that you respect that perimeter. All entities responded on scene, and we have a lot of the partner agencies from the county, from other surrounding communities. And we're really thankful for the response that they've also made. And we also want to let you know that we do have 11 known victims at this time. There's at least one victim that is dead on the scene. We don't have any other details to disclose at this time, but that's the situation as of right now. This is, of course, an ongoing situation, and we don't want to confirm anything or give any other particular details before we have a thorough investigation. And so our goal here is to reassure you that we do have strong...
An American Home Shield warranty.
Oh, crap.
No. Like your fridge, no matter how old.
This isn't about appliances.
It just comes.
Seriously, YouTube.
Continuing to give you updates as we have confirmed details. We want you to know that Facebook has had a national outage today. Many of you may be aware of that, and we know that a lot of Midlanders.
That's not good either.
from
Because that's how
Facebook.
everybody
And
gets their
so
news
if you
there.
would like the most up-to-date information, we've had success in getting Twitter to transmit that quickly. And so you can reference the City of Midland communication pages on Twitter if you're having trouble with Facebook or Instagram.
So I don't know why our area out here, Facebook is more prevalent for people to use for news than Twitter or X. I don't know why out here it is a different trend than other places around the world. I know Twitter and X are more worldwide-ish used. So that's what she's talking about. And for whatever reason, Facebook is not showing it at the moment either. So that's kind of big. I mean, this is crazy. I'm just going to show this news today, and we're just going to watch it as it unfolds.
We're going to continue to try to post on all outlets as much as possible. The blood bank need is not immediate. We've had a conversation as recently as right before this press conference. The blood bank need is not immediate, but we know that there may be future needs. And so if you have a willingness to go to our local blood banks to give blood, we invite you to do that. We would also say that the food and donations, many of our Midland community are going to want to reach out and make donations for our first responders and for the families of these victims. We ask that you do those things through the United Way so that we have one specific location that's disseminating those things and making sure that the needs are addressed. They're collaborating with our local food bank, with other different groups to make sure that all of those needs are covered. So please direct yourself to the United Way. We want to also comment that there is a family reunification center that is set up at Midland Memorial Hospital at this time. And so if you have questions about one of your loved ones and you want to confirm anything, we would direct you there. I'm going to share a phone number, and then we'll also be putting that out on our socials. But that phone number for the Family Reunification Center is 432-631-4689. Let me say it again. It's 432-631-4689. If you have questions about someone that you're concerned about in our community, then that would be a place where you could go and get more information. If you'd like to go to the hospital in person, we would direct you to the chapel at the hospital to be able to get more information. You can talk to that Family Reunification Center there at the chapel at the hospital. I want to make sure that you understand that this is all hands on deck. All of our community responders are participating in addressing the situation right now, and we're committed to staying in that shape until we have everything addressed and fully wrapped up. So I believe Mayor Pro Tem Stretcher Burks would like to make a comment as well. You want to step forward? I'll just stand close by and you can.
Thank you, Mayor. Amy Stretcher Burks, Mayor Pro Tem. I just want to say our thoughts and prayers are with the victims, their families, and everyone impacted by this tragic incident. We're also praying for law enforcement officers, first responders, and the surgical teams working tirelessly to protect lives and provide care during this difficult time. Please pray for Midland. Most importantly, please pray for those impacted. Thank you, Mayor.
And so we want to close. We will take a few questions from the media that's here, but I first of all want to say our community needs to pull together and respond to these things. And I know
I'm having to text my family. I'm like, where are you guys?
We're praying, those who are willing to give and who are willing to participate.
This is where my family's from.
Continues to
my father-in-law and my brother-in-law. And
we don't have any confirmed details on this suspect at this time.
They said he pulled, they pulled somebody over and they started shooting.
Who was confirmed
something to that.
Killed by this individual. We also don't have any confirmed details about any of the other victims that are in the hospital, but we will be continuing to follow up.
Some of our community members reported that they were getting an active shooter alert, and some people got a stay away alert, and some people got one, not the other. Would you be able to clarify who got which alert?
We have a geographic perimeter system that we are able to specifically identify cell phones that are in the geographic perimeter that we're trying to close down. So those people within that geographic perimeter received that text message to stay in place and not to get out and drive around. The rest of the community should have received just a notification of the incident and keeping them updated.
Is there more than one suspect?
At this time, there's only one known suspect.
And regarding that suspect, is he in custody or is he still out?
He is contained.
Contained.
Do we have a timeline of when?
I'm gonna go add that.
I don't have a specific timeline. Some of those details and some of the early events are still being investigated.
And just for specific details, do we know the area in which he is detained right now? Or
He is
Maybe that.
detained in Southwest Midland.
Oh, contained.
4600 block of
He's
West
not
Wall.
detained. He's contained.
Would you say is a standoff?
Yes.
So this is
There's
SWAT.
SWAT on the scene, and there are multiple agencies responding.
Do you know where the situation started?
The situation we believe to have started in Southeast Midland and progressed across South Midland. PD was first dispatched at 8:03. And fire department was dispatched at 8:08. And then we had all of the other regional agencies responding in direct sequence after that, excuse me.
There we go.
Do we know what shots were fired at what time?
We don't have all of those details confirmed at this time.
Can you just remind residents why they might have not received notice as early as possible and where they can receive further updates moving forward?
We do want to restate that Facebook and Instagram and other platforms have had national outages, and so there was a delay in being able to communicate some of those things as early as we would have liked. So if you have questions and you're having trouble finding what you need, we would direct you to the City of Midland Instagram and Facebook page, but also to Twitter. We've had greater success
talking
in
to my
getting those
family.
things transmitted quickly.
Do you know the status of any officers? Have any officers been hurt?
I'm not aware of any impact to officers at this time.
Any other questions?
I have a
Right.
feeling the one.
Thank you, media, for being here
live
and covering this.
is a
We will
police
have updates
officer.
as we have more information. Again, Midlanders, continue to pray for those that are impacted by this, and we will give you more information.
Wow.
Thanks.
So I'm in contact with my family. My brother-in-law, they are, we're looking at going out of town to something for my nephew's birthday, and they are stuck at home because of the roads closed. And my mother-in-law said she was driving. She just got out of the gym and went to Walmart. And I'm like, do you know that there's an active shooter and you can't even get home? Because where she's at, she's not going to be able to get home. And this is crazy.
All right, so you just heard.
I'm
Mayor
just going to
Lori
show
Blunt
different
giving a
news
quick
things
recap on what happened
as this
So again,
unfolds.
Not too much as far as who the suspect is, but we can tell you that
Because this is
it was
real life for
11
me.
victims
That's
who
what
were
I'm
shot.
doing.
We know
Real
that
life
one
for
person
Risa. This is real
dead.
life
So
for Risa.
This all happened. MPD was dispatched at around 8:03, fire 8:08. So quick response from law enforcement. A lot of partner agencies involved. We know that there was a perimeter that was established and secured for those who were close in that area. They were able to get that alert,
What time
and for
is it
everyone else
now?
in the community, they were able to get
11.
a
So they've been there
notification.
for 2
As
hours.
you heard from Mayor Lori Blanc, because Facebook has been dealing with a national outage, they haven't really been
They've
able
been
to
standoff
communicate a
for
lot of
2
things as
hours
quickly
so
as they would
far.
like.
But you can go ahead if you want to go on to the City of Midland Instagram and Twitter pages and get some updates there. Of course, stay here with us with News West 9. We're going to cover this until we actually have more confirmation. And they're telling us right now that we have got some video from the scene from our Stephen Pepper. Let's see if we can go ahead and roll that for you right now. Now, this was earlier today.
Oh, it's
and
a.m. Central Standard
Julian
Time.
just told you 11 people were shot. One is confirmed dead. And one known suspect has not been identified, but we know is contained in a building on the 4600 block of West Wall.
Yeah, another thing that the city wanted to clarify as well is that they did speak with blood banks. We know that the need right now is not immediate, but it doesn't hurt to donate if you can. Also, if there are any questions on donating to help the families, everything is going to be done through United Way so that they just have a centralized area where you can help. Also, there will be collaborating with the food bank. Once we get that information, we will forward that to you. Also wanted to give the number on the reunification number for families who are going to be at Midland Memorial. If you have someone that you would love to check up on and see how they're doing, that number is going to be 432-631-4689. You can also go to the hospital's chapel if you'd like to check on a loved one. So let me repeat that number again, 432-631-4689.
Now, at one point during the press conference, you did hear Mayor Lori Blanc say that this is an all hands on deck situation. Again, the suspect has been contained in the building, but it is still a very active situation.
Oh, goodness.
And we also heard from Mayor Pro Tem Amy Stretcher Burke.
They're in a
and she
hotel
did
of some
ask
kind,
for
or right
prayers
near a
for
hotel.
the families, the hospital staff, the surgeons, but more importantly, she asked that we pray for the city of Midland.
Yes.
And again, no confirmed details on the suspect or the victim. We have been told that as of right now, we only know that there is one suspect who is now contained. And if we can pull up that video,
Not
that Steve saw
detained,
earlier, we can show
contained.
you
SWAT
some of
team,
the agencies that
contained.
were responding, because you could see that there was also SWAT. And like we were saying earlier, surrounding agencies also responding as well. We're also getting help here at News West 9. In fact, Fox West Texas and San Angelo, our sister station, will be coming into Midland to helping us with coverage, so we can also have all hands on deck to give you all the information that we could today. So again, one person dead, 11 victims shot, and the suspect has been contained.
Now, all of this, people are assuming that this is tied to the situation with Victor Mata Villarreal from the other night. That has not been confirmed. We do not know that the suspect that is in this situation is in fact Villarreal or not, but Villarreal was involved in an officer-involved shooting on Wednesday night around just before midnight.
Yeah.
And so that all started, the officers tried to pull him over. He refused. He did finally stop, pulled out a gun or a rifle, shot at one of the officers. The officer fired back, and then they found the car Villarreal was using abandoned, and that is when the manhunt began for him. Again, whether this is the man that they have.
One of my good friends from, he was in my wedding 20 years ago. He used to be SWAT in Lubbock.
She was saying that this situation all started in Southeast Midland, then eventually progressed to South Midland. Again,
see, they said they were chasing the car.
Enforcement. They were dispatched at around 8:03.
You can hear me. I'm going to need to turn this down
and as Victor said,
tiny bit
really
more.
an all hands on deck situation.
They
from,
said he was
different parts of the city.
Going to be a traffic stop, and the police officer chased him a bit, and then once he stopped, he got out and started shooting, is apparently what happened, and then took cover at this hotel or something like that. So that's kind of what's going on.
And everyone really coming together. And the one thing I want to say is, I'm really glad that everyone got the notification.
It's been about a 2-hour standoff so far.
Came in for an interview, and they also got the alert quickly on their phone. I think that's something that's really important when it comes to an active shooter situation like this. So they were able to get that information. But again, Facebook has a national outage. So for a lot of folks who are very dependent on Facebook and getting their news, the city of Midland says they are going to work on different avenues as far as social media goes. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter is also going to be one of the main ones for them. If you want to get information and any live updates,
oh
any
goodness,
confirmed details, you can go through.
Hi,
again,
this is where my family lives, so I'm like talking to my family on my phone. Like, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law are at home, and my mother-in-law is at the gym and at Walmart. And I was like, do you know what's happening? Because you can't get home.
We were told that way there's one known suspect contained in a building at 4600 West Wall. 11 victims have been shot. One is confirmed dead. If you have a family member that you want to,
I have a feeling the one dead is a police officer too, because that's how this started. So I just have a feeling. It's awful.
4689.
Yeah.
Just go to the chapel.
And then I've said this a couple times. This is where oil comes from. This is oil country. So there's lots of
the main campus was on lockdown.
the oil derricks and stuff out there.
They were on lockdown. Thankfully, the main campus that lockdown had been lifted, and so they had that reunification set up at the hospital. So if you do have a loved one that you want to check up on and see how they're doing, be sure you are calling this number, and someone can direct you to speaking to your loved one.
And Mayor Lori Blanc did echo something that Jolita and I were mentioning a few moments before the press conference. Do not leave your home. Do not leave your place of business. People are being advised to stay away from the area altogether. Don't go out. Don't get on the roads. Just stay home. Stay safe.
I don't know. This is weird.
The situation has been cleared, and we're told that everything is all go.
Okay.
Okay.
We're going to pull up some video real quick. This came from Midland Police Chief Snow. talking about what happened earlier today. 4600 block of West Wall Street. This is when officers heard gunfire coming from that building. They had to secure it, clear the area. And as we told you earlier, they had armored units that were deployed and had partner agencies. I know I saw OPD responding as well when I was heading into work. So they are getting a lot of help. All hands on deck, as Mayor Lori Blanc said, efforts to bring the standoff with the shooter to an end. Still working to figure out on the status of that standoff. We have been told different things. We are still working to clear that up with officials.
We do have Stephen Pepper. He is at the collision
I
center
don't know.
where the shooting is said to have taken place. We're waiting to hear back from him. He is obviously trying to get information from the scene as best as he can. Of course, you can imagine that this is a crazy situation, a crazy scene, people coming and going. So just again, if you're planning on going out and about in this area, don't. Just stay home, stay where you are, and monitor your Facebook page or our Facebook page or our website and our 9 Plus app for updates, continuous updates as we get.
And this is right off the interstate that
For anyone who
west goes to Dallas and east goes to El Paso.
Any blood banks out there, they're saying that the need is not immediate right now. But of course, here in West Texas, they could also use a lot of donations whenever something like this happens. You can still donate to your blood bank. United Way is going to be that one central stream where they're going to be collecting donations for the families of the victims, and they will be working with the West Texas Food Bank. We will forward that information once we do get that. Again, Mayor Lori Blanc, she couldn't confirm the details on the suspect or the victim, nor any of the victims who are in the hospital right now. She was saying earlier that there is a geographic perimeter that is set up. So how that works is if you are in that general area, you would get a text on your phone. Now, if you were outside that area, you would still have gotten a notification just to let everyone know what's going on. And I think that's such an important thing to have, especially in an active shooter situation when you never know anything that could go wrong, like Facebook. People are very dependent on communicating through there. So this was just a way to let everyone know.
And this is one of those situations where, and I know I'm guilty of it, people turn off these alerts on their phones because they're loud, because it wakes them up.
There's
they're
the other.
annoying. But these are the types of situations that make you think twice. So if you do have those alerts turned off on your phone, turn them back on, because again, this is an active situation. It is fluid, it is moving, and you want to be able to get the latest update as quickly as possible. And that is where those alerts come from. They're so important.
As I was saying, I was just planning stuff on YouTube and just messing around, and I'm going to be doing some content and showing some stuff later on, and this happened. And I was like, I'm not even makeup. I don't even look nice. And I just don't care, because this is more important than me. To me, this is more important.
Check all their boxes before they release any public information. But for right now, they're keeping all those live updates and anything else like that on their Twitter. Also, they'll keep you updated on Instagram if you are using Instagram as well.
Again, if you want to check in on a family
Yeah, I have my
member,
America
you are
shirt on.
welcome to call
It's America,
the
y'all.
Family Reunification Center at Midland Memorial Hospital. That phone number there on
It
your
actually is what it says.
631-4689, or you can also
It's America,
go
y'all.
to Midland Memorial Hospital itself, the building, and go to the chapel, and then just tell them who it is
This
you're
is
looking
awful,
for, what
awful,
information is
awful.
about, and they can help you there.
Okay, we're gonna check in with News West 9
Awful.
Olivet because
I gotta get my little
okay,
Jesus.
we don't have it yet, but looks like
We are working to get
That Jesus in my hands.
Also still waiting to hear from Stephen Pepper at the Collision Center.
And
Oh my goodness.
situations like this, there's so many avenues where we get a stream of information. We get a lot of questions that a lot of you guys call our station about.
My
Those are
squishy
things
ball.
that we're still working to get with the city of Midland, and I'm sure they want to.
I got this at our vacation the other day that I was going to talk about on my live when I go live.
So, we will give that to
My
you
squishies.
as soon as we can. So again, we know that there's only one suspect.
Oh, goodness.
Don't know the details on the identities of the victim or any of the victims in the hospital. We know we heard from Mayor Pro Tem Amy Stretcher Burks, who was offering prayers to the family, to law enforcement, also to the surgical teams who are having to work right now. as those victims are coming in. So again, at the bottom of your screen, as we said, 11 victims and 1 dead. We do know the suspect was contained. This all started as a standoff. We had SWAT, multiple agencies responding. It started in Southeast Midland, then progressed to South Midland as well. Can we pull up the scene from earlier today just to show what it was looking like? This was right outside the Victorian Inn.
Now, the thing, Jelena, and this has just been going through my mind just over the last 30, 45 minutes, maybe in the last hour. We have not had a situation like this in.
I'm going to calm down for just a minute so I can go get me something to drink. And I'll be right back.
We all remember how devastated that situation
Now I'm going to
was.
keep this
We have
up.
another
Because
situation here. Luckily, that suspect is contained. They are working to get him out of the building and bring this standoff situation to a peaceful end. But again, just like Mayor Blanc said and Mayor Pro Tem Amy Stritcher-Burke said, pray for the families of the victims, pray for law enforcement, pray for the surgeons, the hospital staff, but more importantly, pray for the city of Midland, that we all come together and we get over this situation relatively unscathed.
Yeah, and and you bring that up, Victor. I remember, back then it was really hard to communicate with a lot of folks because not everyone was getting the notifications, and this is a different story this time. Everyone was getting their messages, they were getting the alerts on their phone. I know our whole newsroom was basically lit up with those alerts, very loud, but those things, as Victor said, are needed because that's how you know what's going on. And back in 2019, some people didn't even get some of those alerts. Right. And again, it's just something that you need to have on your phone. Yes, it is annoying, but that's the way you can stay in touch with your family members. And unfortunately, in this situation, if you do only use Facebook, that's not really an option today because Facebook is dealing with that national outage. So reach out to your family members if you can. If they are in the hospital and you want to check on them, let's see if we can pull up that number for the Memorial Hospital. Here it is, 432-631-4689. If you want to check on a loved one, this is the number you need to call. So main campus, that lockdown has been lifted. That lockdown had been lifted, but we'll take Cindy Jolivet in just a little bit, just to give us an update on what's going on. And here at News West 9, it's nice when we do get outside help. We do have our sister station, Fox West Texas, that will be joining us today, because it is also hands on deck with us as well, Victor.
Now, one of the things that I did want to mention again is the one known suspect contained the victims and the one person dead. But it is okay. I'm going to stop where I'm at right now. We have Sydney Jolivet. She is live from downtown Midland. Sydney, what can you tell us about what's going on right now?
That's right, Victor. We just finished that press conference with Midland City Mayor. We do know they started off with condolences confirming victims. We have 11 victims confirmed dead. We don't know if that's the shooter. We don't know the identities of those persons, but we do know 11 victims their lives have been claimed, and we do know one victim was dead on scene. The perimeter has been established and secured. So far, we know the timeline is still very brief, but we know Midland Police Department was dispatched at 8:03 and Midland Fire was dispatched at 8:08. The perimeter has been established. All entities are responding. That's Midland Police, Midland Fire, Odessa Police, Ector County Sheriffs, Midland County Sheriffs. This is a community effort. And one thing that the mayor highlighted was how the Midland community and the Odessa community, the Permian Basin, is coming together to make sure that everyone remains safe during this time. Facebook is having a national outage. So as long as you're getting your updates from us, we'll be sure to provide them. As we know, I'm going to be home base here because they're going to come and provide updates as we learn more. So I'll be here reporting live all day as long as you need me. But they are reporting that Facebook is having a national outage right now. So they're not sure if everyone is getting the updates that they're posting. But if you are looking for updates directly from the city of Midland, you can reference Twitter. Now, they were talking as well about the blood bank. They're not in an immediate need right now, but soon they will be having requests for blood. So be sure to contact your local blood banks to see if you can be of help. I know the community wants to actually provide food, provide water, clothing to the victims that have been affected in this case. And so United Way of Midland will be the central location to address any communities. And we have a report from Midland Memorial Hospital. They say at approximately 8:20 a.m. they went to the lockdown due to the active shooter in Midland. At 10:10 a.m. the lockdown was lifted from the main campus, but the emergency department will remain
Sorry,
locked down
hold on.
until further notice. There is also a phone number for the
Oh no,
Mana
I
is
gotta
efficient.
add. Just a second.
Power at a price. Turning risk into
Just a second.
resources. To win, you must move in the shadows, make the hard call, and
Oh, it's a spider.
do what it takes. No matter.
It's the Black Widow.
That's Black Widow.
Silken Justice. Sorry, if you know, you know.
in Midland Memorial, Now,
If you know, you know.
her first words were, "Please pray for Midland."
Sorry, I gotta pull it back up where y'all can even see it. Could y'all hear me while I was gone for a minute? Tell me in the chat if you could hear me.
And this started in Southeast Midland and it traveled to South Midland. Now we do know that he was barricaded in the Victorian Inn. We don't have a status on
I got a warning this afternoon. It's about 4 miles from my house, so my mother-in-law just told me.
It's an active situation, but it is contained. So the community is urged, if you're in that area, just stay put. Don't go out trying to figure out what's going on. Just stay put. Listen to your local news. Be sure to tune into Facebook and be looking on Twitter as well for any updates. And just want to run through everything again. So far in the timeline, we know that Midland Police was dispatched at 8:03 and Midland Fire was dispatched at 8:08. Now, some people, we did get calls in from the community. Some people got a stay away alert and some actually got a active shooter alert. Mayor Blanc said the reason for that is because they have a specific geographical area that allows people, if they see their community is in that specific area, that's when they got the stay away alerts. But if you were in the outskirts of where the active shooting was actually going on, that's when you got that alert as well. So just be continuing. They're going to continue to push those alerts out. And they just finished up that press conference.
Actually, I have them in my backyard, and it's where I started on YouTube thing. Because I didn't start where I am now. So, like I said, if you know, you know. But I do have Black Widows all in my backyard. Saw one yesterday.
Out of the area that is affected, that is the Victoria Inn that's near 46.
But I didn't get ready this morning, so I'm like getting ready now.
Those are all of the details that we have so far.
In fact, I took my my photo down. There we go. I'm sitting over here combing my hair.
As we said earlier, a lot of people are asking, well, is this the same? Is the suspect the same person who was on that manhunt yesterday, Victor Mata Villarreal? We still don't know. We're still working to gather that information from the city of Midland, but we still haven't gathered that information just yet. Midland Memorial Hospital
really
has
funny,
received 9 victims
but
from
it
the
should,
incident.
it doesn't have to do with
Right
this.
now, they are in the operating room, and they're saying that 5 of
This
them
is
are
awful.
stable, meaning that they're expected to be okay for now. So we'll keep you posted on that. But
According to Mayor Blanc, and in the press conference earlier, we were told that there were 11 total victims shot, and there was 1 confirmed dead. Again, we don't know names, conditions of anybody else other than what Jolena just updated. And it's interesting to note that while we did hear from Mayor Blanc and Mayor Pro Tem Amy Stretcher-Burks, other than reading statements from on social media, we have not heard from him physically. We do not know if he's planning on going live and giving a press conference at some point later today. But again, the situation is still ongoing. It's still a live situation. So, and this is new videos coming into our newsroom from our one of our news teams out in the field. We do have 3 teams out there at different locations. We have Stephen Pepper at the Collision Center. We have City Bell downtown, and we have Dennis Raines at the Victorian Inn.
So the Collision Center, that's where the shooting happened. That's why you could see there's a lot of police presence there. So there's still a very thorough investigation that the city of Midland has to do. Be safe out there, but if any of you guys have any footage or pictures, feel free to send those into our newsroom. Our email is news@newswest9.com. We're just getting a look at how the scene was earlier today, how things were looking, because I know for us, some of us were seeing that Business 20 was completely just backed up, because for those who are heading to Midland, there was just heavy traffic. And going to Odessa wasn't too bad, but there was still a lot of law enforcement that were quickly rushing to the scene. We don't know the status on the suspect right now. We just know that the suspect has been contained.
Now, if we can go back to that live shot from our Skycam, and we can look at the scene, as Jolena said, it is backed up.
Oh,
You can
man.
still see multiple first responder units, police, fire engines. We're told that there was at least one tactical unit, heavy armored vehicle on scene. Midland Police, City of Midland receiving help from local agencies and area communities. So again, very
Okay,
active
I had a
situation
very
here.
important question.
And we
Do I need blueberry pie or black cherry? Blueberry pie or black cherry? Which one do I need? Because I'm thirsty.
As of right now, again, we have just been told that there are 9 victims at the hospital from the active shooter incident.
Now, we do have a lot of people calling and asking the condition of the shooter. We don't know. Some people are saying that he may have shot himself. Some people say that he's still.
I just heard that
We
from
don't
my
know any of
in-laws.
those
I didn't want to
details.
say
We
it,
are not going to
that
assume
he
anything
actually
happened
has
until
unalived
we get
himself,
confirmation from, City
but I didn't want to
Manager
say it
Adam.
until the news said something, because I
This
don't
just
know if
came in
that's
from
true or
Midland
not.
Memorial Hospital. So that family reunification
I don't
number,
know
they
which
don't
one.
want people calling that number anymore.
Okay.
So they just
Oh.
want people to report to the main entrance. So the updates, they're not going to be provided through the phone. They want people to be going to the Midland Memorial
You tell me,
Hospital, the
M,
main
which one?
entrance. Again, do not
I got this
call
on my
the
trip.
family reunification number.
And we are continuing to get information from sources out in the field, from our reporters, from the city, from the hospital. So if
I'm gonna
you
wait
are
for you to
just
tell me
now
which one.
joining us, we do have an active shooter situation in Midland in the 4600 block of West Wall. We do know at this time 11 victims were shot. One person is confirmed dead. Identities have not been released. And I believe, Jolena, you said that of those victims, 5 were in critical condition?
5 are in stable,
Stable
condition.
condition.
Can we take this down because the hospital doesn't want anyone calling this number anymore? Thank you. Yeah, so they just want people to be going to the hospital, to the main entrance, and don't call that number. Apparently it is a personal cell phone number, so I guess they're getting touchy
Got blueberry
about that.
pie.
So just go to the Midland Memorial
Got my,
Hospital main entrance.
my
They're not
bottle
going to give
opener.
updates on the victims through the phone. So
I've
just
been
keep that in
waiting for
mind
this
if you
one.
want to check on your loved one in the hospital.
And also, while we're waiting for more information,
This is what I had
more to
last night.
confirm
It
the
was good
details
too.
on what's going on, we have been told that the need for blood in Midland is not urgent at this time. But
I had to
if
get it
you
because it was part of
feel
it.
so compelled to go and donate blood,
Sorry,
you
I
are
am
welcome
like
to do
distracting
so.
from the
The
news.
blood
That's
supply
more
is
important
always
than me.
needed in our area. Also, people are going to want to donate food and items for law enforcement, for first responders. If you're going to do that, you are asked to go through the United Way for those donations, and they will be coordinating with the West Texas Food Bank to get those items
Oh,
distributed.
that's really good.
Yeah, again,
love
still
blueberry.
a thorough
It tastes like
investigation, and
blueberry.
Victor and I have just been checking our phones to make sure that we're not missing anything because we have been getting updates as far as from different agencies go. This came in from
Having
TxDOT.
no
They were saying that
nostalgia
all
right
lanes
now,
of business
guys.
20 from Thomason to Loop 250,
I'll tell you in a
that
minute.
includes the north and the south frontage roads, are still currently closed because of that investigation. So they don't really have an estimated time
I'm gonna
on
have to
when
figure
that's
out
going
where
to
you buy
reopen yet.
this.
But they just want you to find a different route if that is part of your commute. Just avoid the area.
I'm gonna
if
be
you
right
can,
back.
And then they will provide more updates as that becomes available.
Okay, now you're looking at a live shot of the scene. If we can go ahead and bring up that map one more time to give you an idea of where everything is located as far as the situation. And there it is right there. Midland Memorial Hospital, as we said before, was on lockdown earlier this morning. That has since been lifted. Again, if you are wanting to get information on a loved one, do not call the family reunification number that we gave you earlier. You are asked to go instead to the hospital and just go to the main entrance. Now, the collision center you see there just off center of your screen, that is where our Stephen Pepper is. We're waiting to hear from him to go live here in just a few minutes. That is where one of the shootings happened. And then, of course, the Victorian Inn, we showed you video from that location just a few minutes ago, and that is where we have Dennis Rains working to get us video and information from that scene.
Yeah, it is taking Stephen a while because he is trying to get official sound from the city of Midland, just trying to figure out what else is going on at the scene. So we're just going to stay on the air for as long as we can and still provide you those updates. For those who missed the press conference that we just had a couple moments ago, Mayor Lori Blanc saying that there was a perimeter that was established and secured, so they just wanted all Midlanders to stay put. They had a lot of partner agencies respond. In total, 11 victims were hurt. One victim is now dead. As far as the identities go, we don't know. It's still an active investigation. And because Facebook has been dealing with a national outage, the city is going to be providing all those updates on their Twitter page and also just on other social media platforms like Instagram. Again, if you want to check on a loved one, you'll have to go to the hospital. You cannot call the family reunification number. I know that was released in the during the press conference, but the hospital is saying that it is a personal cell phone number, so they don't want any calls going to that. If you want to check on a loved one, you're just going to have to. Okay. We had actually had a viewer that took drone video of the situation that we just wanted to show you here of the scene. So that's what it was looking like earlier today. Again, MPD had responded a little after 8 o'clock, 8:03 this morning, and then MFD responded at 8:08. So a really quick response from our first responders there. You can see the chopper up in the sky. Just really active all around, Victor. And for those who are heading to Midland, I'm sure if that was part of your commute, you probably saw that there was just a very active scene all around.
Yeah, and we're told that the suspect is he's holed up in a building in 4600 block of West Wall.
Okay, I'm back.
As far as we know, there's nothing there. There are no shots being fired at this time, but it is a standoff situation. Law enforcement is trying to bring the situation to a peaceful end. We're hoping the same thing happens, but again, don't be a hero. Don't try to go out and.
Sorry, I had to step out of the room for a minute.
Pictures or anything like that. If you're
Oh, goodness.
at work, stay where you are, especially if you are in the area that we just showed you on the map.
Oh, good.
On, this side of town. It is an active situation.
My family is all at home.
And we're working to get more information, and we're going to update you on that. As soon as we get it, and as long as it takes to get you all informed.
Yeah, and I know we sound like a broken record just to stay put, but it is true because there have
My
been
family is all at home.
where, folks, they heard
That's
gunshots,
good.
they went outside their house to see what was going on, and unfortunately were killed. So just be extra careful.
Oh, that's awful. And went outside
I know
to see what's going on.
Geographic perimeter,
and he
that
started
was set up
shooting
basically
them.
means that for folks who were in that perimeter, their text.
That's crazy because when something's going on in my neighborhood, everybody goes out to go see what's going on. And with police cars and stuff show up because usually it's somebody's hurt or it's the ambulance is there. And unfortunately in my neighborhood, the last year or two, it's been somebody passed away. And all the dogs start hollering and howling when the ambulance and fire trucks and everything show up. And they just said that these people just went outside to go see what was going on. And it was at a hotel. So it's probably people that were just staying at the hotel or at these businesses. I mean, I was at that Ford house not too long ago looking at cars. You'd be at the car dealership just looking at cars, and this is happening right next to where you are. I mean, oh my goodness, this hits different when it's somewhere where you frequent or where your family is.
They would get a text saying that they had to stay away from the area while
everyone
else who was outside.
I was at these car dealerships not long ago looking for a new car because I'm about to get a new car hopefully soon. The IRS took all of my new car money. By the way, we pay our taxes, everybody. The IRS took quite a bit of my new car fund.
It was really hard to get the notification messages on their phone. So thankfully this time a lot of people were alerted,
Mm.
and it's just really important that you do stay updated.
I'm gonna
that
have to
you do
figure
get
out where
those
these are
alerts sent
from.
to your phone. So I think that's the one thing that a lot of people, got, and
I just gonna do my makeup. I'm gonna kind of cam down. I'm gonna mute a little bit so you don't hear me. We can listen to what's going on because
one specific
oh
text
my
message. If
gosh.
you were outside of that area,
That's what
you
my
got a
mother-in-law
different
said. They
message,
started
but
getting
the
messages
message
to
went out
stay
just
at
the
home.
same. And Jolena, you
And
just
she's
now
happened to
mentioned
be
the
out
mass shooting in
already.
2019. This is very reminiscent of that fact. Multiple victims shot. Sadly, there were, if I remember correctly, 7 deaths in Odessa. In
I usually
2019.
get all like
At this
YouTube
point in
ready.
Midland,
So
we
I
only
just gonna
have
get
one
YouTube ready.
confirmed death,
Y'all can watch me.
and then 5 people in stable condition at Midland Memorial Hospital. So while it is a similar situation, it's a tragic situation, the outcome has been very different from one to the other. And we just want to make sure that it stays that way. So again, avoid the area at all costs, if at all possible. If you don't need to be out on the roads, just stay home and get your latest updates from News West 9, from our 9 Plus app, or you can go directly to City of Midland's Twitter page or their Instagram.
Yeah. So again, Midland Memorial, they told us just a couple moments ago, they did receive 9 victims from the active shooter incident. 4 of them are in the operating room and 5 of them are now in stable condition. So as far as their identities go, that's not something that has been released at this time. We're still working to gather that information. Trying to hear our producer. Oh, it looks like we got Steven ready. Is Steven ready to go? Okay. All right.
Awesome.
We have Steven live at the scene at the collision center where the shooting happened. See if we can get him to stand by
Yeah,
real
we're
quick.
working to get that connection with Steve.
I was just at one of these car lots.
Stephen, if you can hear us. Okay, there he is.
West Wall Street out in front of the
Stop. Q, go.
Thanks for bringing us in, guys. We're at the heart of the scene right now, out in front of All American Collision here on 4600 West Wall Street. Now, if you take a look at the scene, it certainly appears that it's de-escalating, although we can't confirm. But for the body language of police and law enforcement walking out, it's way less intense. I've been out here since about 9 this morning. To give you an idea of how many law enforcement out here, you can see the trucks, but again, they're pulling away. I wrote down SWAT, DA, DPS, Midland Fire, U.S. Marshals, MPD, Midland ISD, ECISD Police, Odessa Police, and Midland County Sheriffs. It's the most law enforcement I think I've ever seen. And you also see, I don't know if you can see it anymore in the back, but there were armored vehicles, stuff you'd see from a war zone. And it was just, you hear of so many shots here, but I believe the situation is escalating. Now, one person told me when he was driving around 8 this morning, right here on this service road on West Wall Street, that he could hear several rounds of shots. He didn't know blew out. And then he also showed me a picture of it. He had a gunshot hole, bullet hole at the bottom of his truck. He didn't know where it was coming from. He pulled in over here at All American Wall Street, and then he tells me he believed to have heard hundreds of rounds.
He just started shooting at the street? That's the interstate.
Trying to reach Steven.
That's the main
so we're gonna
interstate
stay on air
across Texas.
with you. Again, he's there at the collision center. So as of right now, we know that there are 9 people that are in the hospital from the active shooter case. We know that at least 4 of them are in stable condition. So if you're trying to contact, or
Said
5 are in
five
stable
will
condition,
go.
excuse me, 9 altogether. We're still working to figure out the identity of that one person dead, because we are getting
Right back.
multiple
I gotta go
information. We just have to confirm
put
that,
water
make
on my
sure that
face.
that is correct.
I'll show you what I'm using in a minute.
As of
Let's
right
do a
now,
makeup
we
tutorial
are
since I'm
continuing
sitting
to
here in the
support
news.
The families of the victims will. Hopefully we can get some of that information later today. The city of Midland saying that United Way is going to be that stream where folks can donate and support some
Marcus?
loved ones. And there will be collaborating with the food bank if you would like to help them out.
Okay, and it sounds like we are connecting with Stephen Pepper at the collision center. Am I right?
Oh, we got an ad. Sorry about that.
In the situation. Okay, they're telling us that we do have Stephen Pepper live from the collision center. Stephen?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Well, thanks for bringing me back. Again,
Thanks
we're
for
still
staying
on
with me.
All-American
I've
Collision
never done this
600
before like
West
this.
Wall Street. As you see right now, Texas, it appears that it's Texas Rangers. On the scene, this might be actually Texas Highway Patrol.
This is crazy.
Workers from All-American Collision telling them what's next. But I just got confirmation.
Wasn't there.
from
I was
Metro
at the
County Sheriff
Ford
Mike
house
Griffiths
right down
that
the
this
street
situation is
the
over.
other day.
Now, the number of suspects and the number of victims, he told me to go through Midland Police. That's what information I'll give you guys next. But Sheriff Mike Griffiths just told me that the situation is over. But again, the extent of the situation, the damages,
Well,
the
my
number of people
moisturizer.
shot, possibly killed, he couldn't confirm.
Stuff is
Such
awesome.
Tragic news. But as you see right now, Texas Highway
Hope you can read it.
Patrol is telling people out front, witnesses.
It is
of the
Kate
scene,
Somerville.
witnesses who I talked to
Dry
for hours.
skin
They were working out
saver,
here at
because
the All-American
us
Collision,
pale ones usually
surrounding
have dry
buildings, or
skin,
even on West Wall or the service road.
especially as I'm out here in the sun all the time.
Shots that they pulled over here to take cover, but police has had this area as far as the eye can see, all the way down to that Coal City Veterinary Hospital, where we believe that the shooter, we have no idea who the shooter is or the suspect is, was
Could be
at
anybody.
one point sometime this morning. Can't tell you any more details.
Said they
about
were
that.
following him.
Here in a moment. But
The
as
police
you know,
were
right now,
following
the
him.
situation,
Anybody.
according to Sheriff Mike Griffiths, is over.
Doesn't have to be somebody local.
All right, Stephen,
All
thank you. Okay, so as you just heard from Stephen, DPS, they are speaking with some of the employees at All American Collision just to kind of gather some information on what happened earlier today. And you could see that it was still an active scene. That crime scene tape was still
Apparently,
surrounding that
the
perimeter.
SWAT's
You
over.
could see a lot of vehicles that were there. That was very, very active earlier today. If that was part of your commute on Business 20, you could see on that service road a very heavy police presence. There are also traffic folks who were trying to come into Midland. And so that was causing a lot of headaches for a lot of people. But as you heard earlier, surrounding law enforcement agencies have also been helping out MPD, like Ector County Sheriff's Office. In fact, it was Mike Griffiths that said that the scene, the situation there is now over.
Now, we don't exactly know
Good.
what it's over means, but for all intents and purposes, even though it's still being considered an active scene, the standoff apparently, according to Sheriff Mike Griffiths, per our Stephen Pepper, it is over. We're
Good.
waiting for official confirmation to come from either Ector County or from the city of Midland as far as those details are concerned.
Yeah. So once again, for those who want to check in with a loved one at the hospital, you have to go to the hospital and be sure to go there yourself. I know during the press conference they were mentioning the
This is Mac.
reunification number.
Studio
The hospital says
Reagan
they do not want people calling that
NC10.
reunification number just because it is a personal number. So you'll have to go to the hospital yourself. Again, there are 9 victims from the active shooter incident, 4 currently in the OR, 5 are in stable condition. As you heard earlier today from Mayor Lori Blanc and also Mayor Pro Tem Amy Stretcher Burks, offering prayers to family, to law enforcement, everyone who is having this hands-on deck situation, the surgical teams who are working tirelessly at Midland Memorial Hospital. Just keep them in your thoughts. As we were explaining earlier, only one suspect, as we were told during that press conference,
Studio
was
Fix
contained.
NC10.
Still working to figure out the status.
Just doing
of
my
that
makeup while
suspect.
we watch the
And
news.
again, we still don't know.
This
because
is where
we were
my
getting a lot of
family's from.
questions
If you're
earlier
new, if
today
you're just
with
now
this,
popping on, I don't know if
Victor
people popping
Matavilela
on and off
from
or
last
anything.
night
So
because he was in a manhunt from an officer-involved shooting. Take a look at this video.
yeah, there was
Just
something
for
else
everyone who's
last
been sending
night
in your,
where there was a manhunt for somebody else. So that's what my family was saying at first. Like, no, this is. I said, no, this is new. This was this morning. So, ooh.
It's not that I like to see it, Victor, but it's just the teamwork and
Oh, yes,
everyone
for
working
sure,
together.
for sure.
Law enforcement responded so quickly. Midland Fire responded pretty quickly, to really secure, to clear the scene.
And when you think about it, Jolena, the situation could have been so much worse. There could have been more than one person killed. There could have been more than the number of people injured. We were fortunate enough to have those numbers be as low as they are. And just to get you caught up on how all of this began, authorities say that they heard gunfire coming from a building on West Wall. We now know that that was in the 4600 block of West Wall, which now is believed to be the collision center. They cleared the area, armored units were deployed, and those first reports started coming in at 8 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, that's right. And as we saw when Stephen went live, DPS was interviewing or questioning some of the employees that were living there just to ask them what was going on. Because again, even though Sheriff Mike Griffiths is saying that the scene is now over, it's still active because you still have a lot of officers, deputies that are trying to
somebody's
gather as
talking
much
about you if you're no, somebody's thinking about you if you're
earlier today, so we can take a look at how busy it was looking. I mean, this was right off the service road, and you could see some armed vehicles there.
Ooh, look at that.
A lot. It was difficult for some folks who were trying to get into Midland, but
wow.
This was the police response, and
wow.
And you can see that chopper up there.
And we do want to emphasize, even though Stephen Pepper said that.
So I know y'all probably don't care, but this is benefit. Pom. It's pomegranate.
From this area, if you're thinking you want to go by, you want to see for yourself, take some pictures, just stay home. Just be safe and just get your updates from News West 9, from our 9 Plus app, from the City of Midland on their Twitter or Instagram pages. As we've been told, or as you know, Facebook has been dealing with a national outage today.
That's why Facebook's down.
They can effectively and quickly post their updates on social media.
Right now, we have been told by our photographer who is at the Victorian Inn that it appears that law enforcement is leaving the scene over there. So we'll be providing that video on what was going on at the outside the Victorian Inn earlier today. But as of right now, still one suspect. And as far as the victims go, we know that 9 were taken to the hospital, 4 in the OR, 5 now in stable condition.
And again, we're told that the area, the suspect is contained, but as
I feel like I'm like Bailey Sarian here doing my makeup. And I'm not even that good at doing makeup. So, that's what's funny.
Stay away from the area. Avoid
I don't
it
care.
until you hear otherwise that the scene is cleared. Even though we're being told that law enforcement are leaving.
Okay.
Law enforcement's leaving, so I guess it's over. Which means the report that he was unalived or unalived himself is true.
Well, here we know so far.
When my family started telling me that was actually true.
About 3 hours, maybe 4, that this situation has been going on. It's still very.
They just didn't have it on the news yet.
10:30 this morning from the City of Midland, and more details are still continuing to roll in. Let's recap what we've learned so far from the City of Midland. The mayor reported that MPD was dispatched to the scene at 8:03. We do know that the situation started in Southeast Midland and it traveled to South Midland. We've been talking to Stephen, who's been out there on the scene as well. And then Midland Fire was dispatched at 8:08, and he was talking about how all the agencies were there: Midland Police, Ector County Police, Ector County ISD Police, Midland ISD Police.
Ector County is Odessa.
Also on scene. And when the press conference started, they said, please pray for Midland. Please pray for Midland. There are 11 confirmed victims. We do know 1 was dead on.
And they are doing summer school right now still.
Midland Memorial has received 9 of those victims from the active shooting incident, and 4 are in the operating room, and 5 are now stable.
Oh, goodness.
In response, Midland County Community
4 in the operating, 5 stable, 9 in the hospital at the moment.
Community partners, and they've established that.
Oh, this is more important than me. Sorry.
About at Midland Memorial Hospital. The Family Reunification Center is available to assist people who are looking for information about their family. Again, we don't know identities. We don't know who the active shooter was.
I'm just happy my family was not anywhere near here.
Coordinate with loved ones and make sure that everyone is still safe. We do know that they're still asking people to avoid the area.
This is what I was using.
Getting reports that the scene is cleared.
Urban Decay.
Confirmed. So if you're in that area, stay away from where the scene is active. If you don't
Urban Decay naked.
Avoid it altogether.
You just have to shout.
Friday morning, busy. Everyone's going to work. We know that school is out, but still, if you're on those roads, just please be safe.
School is out, but
we do know that
they are doing summer school still.
Happening, that the permit was established established and secured. So it had been brought to one central location. And looking for, we know that the blood bank, there's not an immediate need for blood, but there might be. So if there was a request, be sure to look.
Always a need for blood.
And there's
If
also
you can donate blood, go do it.
They're having the central location to address any needs. So you can reach
The
out
more
to
of these we have, the more we need
reach
it.
out to the Family Reunification Center at Midland Memorial Hospital. We do know that it's still a very fluid scene, and I'm going to head back inside just to wait for some more updates. This is the home base. We're going to learn more as we can, but for now I'm going to toss it back to you guys back in the studio.
All right, thanks, Sydney.
Thank you, Sydney.
Just to kind of add on what she was saying on the reunion.
So this is roller liner eyeliner from Benefit. If you're a makeup-y person like me. One of the recent things, I am addicted to high-end cosmetics. It's one of my addictions.
I need to check with them because they gave us the number for the reunification center, but the hospital was saying that they don't want that.
And I have blonde eyelashes. So mascara is a have to have. Because my eyelashes are even blonde. Looks like I have no eyelashes and I'm asleep or I'm sick if I just don't have mascara on.
So many.
It's a blonde thing. If you know, you know. If you're one of them, if you're one like me, if you know, you know.
We just got this information from Sydney that the suspect, that one dead, is the suspect.
Oh, there, good. That may be the suspect the entire time and not the police officer.
Okay, suspect is dead. Suspect is dead, and according to Ector County Sheriff Mike Griffiths, the scene is clear. That did come from the city of Midland, that the suspect is dead.
Okay, of course, we do not know if that suspect is or is not.
I need to go change my little
Victor
thing
Mata
here.
Villarreal, who was involved in the manhunt last night.
Ooh.
We do know that the dead person
Was
that
the
we
same
just talked
thing
about
there.
this morning is in fact the shooter in
Well,
this
let me go over here.
We also got an update from Midland Memorial Hospital.
So last night, something happened. I guess I need to go find the news thing from last night or ask my in-laws, because last night there was a manhunt for somebody and they've had the police helicopters out like all night long looking for somebody. So maybe this is the same person or maybe it's somebody different. I don't know. But man. But yeah, I have blonde eyelashes. And if I do not have mascara on, I would look like I am the Walking Dead. Another question, if you had to take one thing onto the island, what would you take? It'd be mascara. Because otherwise I look like I'm a sick person. So, yeah. Oh, golly. This is nuts. Just nuts. Craziness. I need to go find the news thing in a minute, though. What happened last night? We can see if it's the same person later on.
That they are no longer in lockdown.
We shall see.
So suspect, that one person is now dead. We're going to change some of the graphics just to keep you updated for those who are still joining us. The one
Oh, well,
person is now
thank
dead.
you.
Suspect. Scene is still active.
Thank you for saying that.
A lot of questioning that's going on.
I wasn't even looking over here. I was looking at the news thing.
If we can bring up
And I was looking at my little mirror over here.
we can show you what's going on right now. Go ahead.
Andy, is there a way where we can zoom in? I'm not sure if that's going to.
I will tell you, I am married, though.
That's as far
So,
as we can go.
sorry.
Just by looking at it, Jolena, just how we've been looking at it for like the last hour or so, it does look that some of the emergency vehicles are leaving or have left. There is still that large convergence there in the center of your screen. So
it is.
Sheriff
It's
Griffiths,
very
the situation's
silky
over.
and it
For
does
the
not
city of Midland, the
hardly
suspect
curl
is
at all.
dead. And okay, here's a statement from Mayor
It
Lori
is
Wong.
like corn silk, though.
The active shooter situation has ended and the shooter is confirmed deceased. The active investigation continues, so road closures and delays are expected in the area.
And I'm a big goofball.
The Victorian Inn, we know that a lot of the law enforcement.
You're blonde.
vehicles
You're not
now
blonde. You have black hair and you're
area
Mexican.
right now.
I don't say the word
And at this
Mexican
time, still,
because people
on
here.
Service Road on West Wall,
Oh, hold
it's
on.
still very active. There, DPS.
I need
is
to pause
functioning.
the thing because I'm talking over it. People don't realize I live in very rural Texas. This is very, very rural. And I live in a very diverse place. I mean, if you see all of my stuff, if you watch all my stuff, my church that I show, one of our pastors is white, one of our pastors is black, and half the congregation is Hispanic. Because the area I live in is actually nearly 70% Hispanic. But if you call people Mexican around here, sometimes they get offended. And some people will say they're not Mexican, and some people will say Latino and Latina because they actually are. Because I know people who are from here on YouTube. Polly is from Ecuador. Some of you are from other places. I have a friend who's from Bolivia, and she used to live in La Paz, up near Lake Titicaca. It's my favorite one to say. One of my favorite little places to say word. But yeah, a lot of people here will get offended if you use the word Mexican because they're not all from Mexico. I have a friend who suffered and who made it through the Civil War in El Salvador. And he immigrated here. This was in the 90s. This was somebody I know from high school. He immigrated here in the 90s after the, and he was on asylum after the Civil War in El Salvador. And he had scars on his shoulder because when he was a kid, he was shot by the resistance in El Salvador while they were having the Civil War. This is just the area I live in is very, very different than what most people are used to. It's rural. I live in a very, very, very small community. And it's very different here. Because a lot of people out here have been talking about these types of things and talking about race and talking about all of this stuff. And people don't realize we all have different experiences in life. And quit labeling people things until you get to know them. Actually watch their stuff before you make comments about them. That's all I got to say. It's a little bit on my soapbox right there because, man, some people are, I'm not rich. I'm blessed. I am not rich in the slightest. In fact, I'm middle class. I'm American middle class. I own a piano store. I'm not rich, but we're very blessed in life, and we have worked extremely hard for what we have in life. And I mean, my great grandparents were white trash. If you wanted to look at the 20s and at the 30s, what was considered that's where they were. That's what they were. And then some of you are new. My little friend here is new. I'm also Cherokee Indian. I'm Native American at the same time. And people don't realize that my great grandmother in the 20s and 30s was segregated against because she was Native American and on the Dawes roll as a Cherokee Indian. My grandmother was not signed up to be Native American with paperwork because there was such a stigma in the civil rights era, just like it was with people who were Black or people who were Hispanic. Here in my area, it was segregated. There was the white school, the Black school, and then the Hispanic school. And it was all one-room schoolhouses. This is when my grandmother lived here. Up near the reservation, they had the regular school, which my great-grandmother luckily got to go to the regular school because the Cherokee Indians did not, they outside Cherokee school, you could choose. But some of the other tribes, they had the residential schools, and they were forced to go live in the residential schools and be Americanized. People don't know the history of my tribe and the history of the other tribes. This was the Osage that was right next to the Cherokee people. Watch Killers of the Flower Moon. You'll learn a lot about the Osage. And the Osage got it worse than the Cherokee because the Cherokee were considered civilized. The Osage were not. They had to have white people in charge of their money and decide who got to spend what. And then they were charged 3 times what the white people were charged. This is the Osage people. This is Killers of the Flower Moon. This is what happened, though, in the Cherokee lands as well. They were charged more because they were Native American and because they had money from oil rights. And the white people wanted to steal their money. Yes, I look white, but I'm also Native American, and I'm proud of it. And there's nothing you guys can do to erase that part out of my DNA and out of my blood. Sorry, I'm on my soapbox because I've been watching a lot of stuff on YouTube. I was watching some stuff on Carmelo Anthony before this news thing even came up. And I have seen some disgusting things on the internet about that case. Disgusting. That case should never be about race. It's about a teenage boy who made a horrible decision to bring a weapon to a track meet where he wasn't supposed to have a weapon in the first place. No, it's not against Texas law to have a pocket knife in your pocket, even if you're 17. It is if you're younger than 17. There is law about it. Actually, I think it's 16. There is law about it. But you can't take it to school, and you can't take it to school events. This was a UIL sanctioned event on school property that happened at. It's terrible that he made a horrible choice to use it and unalive somebody else. But it has nothing to do with the fact that he is black and Austin Metcalf is white. It has to do with the fact that a 17-year-old teenage boy made a terrible decision and ruined a lot of lives. I've followed this case for over a year, and I'm watching people on YouTube cover it that have watched it for about 2 weeks when it became popular and it became a big deal. I've been watching this for a year. People have swatted the Metcalfs repeatedly. The victim's family. They lit the victim's grave on fire. Destroyed it. Decimated it. I don't know if you guys have heard of this in the news because it was reported at the time locally, but it wasn't big time megamania news. Unless you were following the case, you probably didn't know this. And I follow these cases. I've been watching several cases for a while because I'm a big true crime person. I've been watching Tyler Robinson. I saw he's live right now. They're having a hearing of some kind while the news was on. I saw it. So now I'm going to go watch that to see what's happening. I've been following that case because I want to start covering it on my channel. I've been following Carmelo Anthony, but I knew not to start following it on my channel because I'm white. And because I'm white, I can't talk about it because I'm racist. Make that make sense. This isn't about race with this kid. It's a kid that made a terrible, terrible choice. And now his life is ruined. It's a kid that made a bad decision because teenage brains are not capable of functioning and deciding things, thinking about the future. And this is child development. And it's also a society mindset thing that we've ingrained into our kids, that things like this are okay to go do. Who takes a knife to a high school function? Exactly. Who takes a knife to school? Somebody who thinks they're going to need to use it. Why does he think he needs to use it? Because things are actually happening to him, which is possible. I'm not going to rule that out. Because we want to act like we are a thug. This is coming from a teacher. I've seen it all the time. I have taught 15-year-olds. Over half of my career, I've taught 15-year-olds. I've been told to touch me and see what happens. I have been told that as a teacher. I have seen them tell that to the administrators. I have seen them tell that to each other. I've seen them tell that to law enforcement as they got arrested at school. I had a student one time who got mad at me because I forced her to do her assignment in my class. How dare I? So she went out after school and she took a rock and she keyed my car. Not lying. She keyed my car. And when she keyed my car, I went out after school and saw it. I had to call the police. I had to file a police report. This is how people are. And this is how people on YouTube are. They go snitch on themselves, and then they think that nobody's going to find out. If you say it online, if you show it online, people are going to see it, and that becomes evidence against you in court. So what happened is this girl keyed my car. I'm lucky she did not key bad words in it. It was just scribbles. It was like $3,000 worth of damage for my car. And went to a school function the next day. I went to a science fair because I'm a science teacher. And while we were at the science fair, we got calls we got text messages. You can't do this anymore because the kids are not supposed to have their phones at school anymore, because kids are really smart. They know how to text like underneath the table and like bully people text underneath the table. Back when it was the A, B, B, C, C, they could do that under the table and you wouldn't even know it. When you had to like multiple punch the numbers, y'all know what I mean? If you're old school, you know what I mean. If you're Gen X or millennial or like me, a zennial, you know exactly what I mean. So anyway, they started texting us while we were at the science fair and saying, she's sitting here in your class in front of the substitute telling everybody that she did this yesterday. So of course we're calling the principal and we're like, you need to go talk to the substitute and the kids in the class, because apparently we're over there telling everybody what we did yesterday. Sure enough. And then when she was arrested at school, and my classroom was upstairs, and I could see the parking lot, and I could see the front of the school and the front lawn and everything. And we went on a low-level lockdown, and I knew they were going on lockdown because they were coming to arrest her, because that's how the school SRO works. And they arrested her, and then she started fighting the police officers outside, and she got more charges. This is a 15-year-old girl. She got more charges because she was fighting the police officers outside and telling them stuff like that. Do it and see what happens, as they were trying to put her in handcuffs. And this was in 2013. And this is just how kids are raised today. It's like a society thing. I'm going to look at my chat. Sorry. Risa, you are right. Even though you have light skin and Native American, some people can't erase that from you. No, they can't. It is part of me. It's how I grew up. It's how I was raised. It's the stories I was passed down about my ancestors and about my grandparents and about my great-grandparents. Just like everybody else has the same stories from theirs. It's just my family on both sides have very interesting stories, because I don't know. I have very interesting sides of my family. And the other side I've never even talked about. And, my Native American line is just one line down from on my paternal side. It's just one line out of it. My grandma, because then I've got my grandpa, and then I got my mom's side. And if you do genealogy, man, there's a lot you can see about yourself. You have white golden aura. Have you ever used Bindi? No, I've not. And I am a teacher. I have taught science. I am a nearly 20-year veteran teacher. I'm way older than I look. I'm actually in my 40s. So doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't make any sense. None of this makes sense. And we're making it into something that it's not, so that we can have a division or try to get somebody out on appeal. And with the whole, it was an all-white jury. It wasn't an all-white jury. It wasn't an all-white jury to begin with. It just didn't have anybody on it that was black. And the reason for that is because the people who went for jury selection, who were, admitted they could not be unbiased because of their mindset and what they thought. That's why. And then they didn't want teachers on a jury. And I understand why they wouldn't want a teacher on that jury. It happened at school. If you're a teacher, the element of it hits differently when you have experience with teenagers and you have experiences with teenagers who make bad decisions, and care about them and love them. And it's just a different experience. I can understand them not wanting teachers of any race because it was at a school event. Yeah, we've already talked about that one. Yep, that's crazy. Science teachers are the ones who matter. Who matter. You get it? I'm a punny person. Along with math, I know exactly what you mean. Have you ever tried selling your eggs? No. Never met a Native woman so beautiful and intelligent. Well, thank you. I thank you about that one. I don't know about all of that, but no, I don't plan on ever doing anything like that. I'm just me. This is my channel. It's just me being me and looking at things, especially true crime, because I'm a true crime nut. I have always watched big cases. And in fact, I was going to do a live about this before I even went on vacation, the cases I've been following, because I was watching Athena Strand. I saw that entire case. That was a death penalty case before all of this stuff. I've been watching Tyler Robinson. I watched Brian Koberger until he went. I've done some stuff on Ruby Frankie on my channel, done some stuff on Lori Vallow. This is just something that I do. I like to go and find all of the court documents and read it all. I like to read things after they happen, find motivations. I watch behavior analysis. And this is kind of some of what I want to start doing on my channel and what I've been kind of building in the back end that people haven't been seeing. I've been watching Carmelo, Robinson, where are the other? Athena, and Mackenzie Shirilla. That one is very interesting too. Mackenzie Shirilla. And she's got the thing on Netflix. That's The Crash. So I've been watching that one like crazy too. But I knew this one with Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony was going to blow up like this. I could see it. And I was in Dallas last week while this was happening. McKinney is an hour from where we were. And my son was like, Mom, can we go? I was like, no, because it's not safe there. It's not safe there no matter who you are. Just because of our environment in the United States that needs to change. And our environment on YouTube that needs to change. Yeah, I've gone too long. So I got to tell you one last story and then I'm going to jet because apparently this in Midland is over. The Nancy Guthrie case was way crazy. It was. I've not watched that super, super, super close. I know what it is. I've kind of watched some of it, but I've not like really deep dived into that one. And I like watching Bailey Sarian. I watch the behavior analysis guys. I watch Lauren and Dr. John on Hidden True Crime. This is one of the only YouTubers that I actually give any money to are those people, and Matthew Russell Lee, because he's my Patreon. We talk on Patreon about stuff. Because yes, I'm serious. I've been doing this for a while. What brought me onto YouTube was P. Diddy. Thank you, P. Diddy. Never thought I was going to be a creator. In a million years, never thought I would end up being a creator. Especially the journey I've had on YouTube. Because, man, it's been crazy. Because some of you guys are crazy. But I'm going to finish my blueberry pie soda. When I was in high school, my first job, I worked at a snow cone shop. And the best flavor was blueberry cheesecake with cream. And it was like Bahama Bucks, if you have Bahama Bucks, like a snow cone place. Blueberry cheesecake with cream. Best flavor ever. This tastes like it. So I'm gonna have to figure out where the store that I got this at, because it was this crazy store I have to show on the live that I'm working on from when we were on vacation. All kinds of crazy soda flavors, and I bought some, and this thing is amazing. So I'm gonna finish this, and I'm gonna work on my stuff that I'm working on that's content wise, because I don't do it until I'm ready. This one today was a absolute impromptu. I just have to show this because it's real. It's what's happening in my life. And I thought it was important. So you guys have a great one. I'll see you on the flip somewhere in the great big old YouTube verse. You guys have a great morning, evening, afternoon, or night. We're all doing one of those somewhere out in this great big old YouTube verse. You guys have a good one. Bye, guys.